Hello everyone. I've come out into, a little beautiful hawk just landed right outside the car. Or buzzard. Pretty. I've come out into the sunshine to document today's findings. Last night, not one worm, but many worms decided to make themselves known. And I am finding this journey quite interesting. The worms, for those of you that are not unfamiliar, are what I'm referring to as subconscious little thoughts or revelations that, since I've embarked on a healing journey, kind of like come to the surface, so to speak, like little worms to talk to me and aid me in my healing. And I realized last night I need to write down what's coming up, as well as make videos, because obviously I'm not going to be sharing all the gory details, but just as a generalization of, what comes up, what I think is going to help people, etc. So I had this idea that I wanted to have a journal that had worms on it, and I pictured it. It was like dark blue and a big pink worm on it, and it was like said something like a journal of worms or she loves worms or something. And so I was like, I need to get a journal just for these worms, because I think documenting this healing journey is going to kind of like be referenced more often than, this analogy of the worms. And I just want to show you the exact book I found. On that note, I want to talk to you about the power of your own manifestation, the power of your mind. Like, I knew that book existed, and I knew that I knew where to get it to. I was like, it's on Amazon. I can see how it looks. I've envisaged it, so therefore it exists. So, and this happens a lot more often recently. And on that note, I want to talk to you about the power of doing what it is that you love, and how we are almost trained to go against all your instincts, all the feelings of play, all the feelings of, I can't do that, it's not the most sensible option. What I'm realizing, that Spirit desperately wants us just to live a life of joy as much as we possibly can, and do the things we love. And since I've kind of closed out a chapter of something that I was doing, I have this renewed sense of excitement and energy, and my creative switch is back, and it's like, I'm back. And it's almost like all of the things that I enjoy or have done in the past to some capacity are all kind of like coming together and saying, use us, like, let's get creative. How can we use all of these gifts, like in a mixing bowl? What can you create with all these gifts, and what would you like to add? I love learning, and I love adding tools to my box, and I do that by way of it being something that's personally happened to me, and then I'm like investigating it. So I've been investigating a lot about somatic release, as I said, and healing. So I'm looking into that. I'm looking into where that could potentially take me. Maybe I'll do some training, some official training in that area, and then add it to the mix of my yoga and my therapy and my coaching. Also, I've always been like quite a healthy eater, but I've been really looking into whole foods and ways of nourishing your body, and how that might have to adapt slightly. Like women going through the menopause, for example, there are particular things that maybe don't work, or you need to slightly adjust, and you need to think about, your bone density and how your hormones are being affected by the things that we eat. And there's so much. I feel like I'm about to stepping into a new chapter in my own age, my own body, my own vessel, and in where I'm at in my life, the way I want to move forward. And we are the creators of our own reality. Look, the sun had come out. I'm not going to show you now because it's muddy. The sun had come out briefly. So on that subject of we are the creators of our own reality, I am such a firm believer of that. Like the house that we live in right now, I dreamt about it, or I dreamt that we were moving to a bigger, more spacious, brighter home, and we didn't have the finances to do it, but I just said that's my house in faith, and that's basically what happened. And I think the further along I go in my spiritual journey, I'm realizing we have gifts and we have tools that we can use to live the life that we want, right? And we can choose what we want to do with the time that we have here to a certain extent, you know, and we can choose how we want to create our life. What does it look like? What does it feel like?